Alright, welcome to the quick little tour I put together just to show you what you can actually do and what I was talking about in the virtual world. I started off a little bit taller, and the controllers actually give you a hint to help you what to do. So it just has the hint if you're left-handed or right-handed, and it has teleport and the big button. So where I'm moving my hands, the controllers move as well, so I can actually click around. And then I'm actually set to my right height as well. I was actually standing on top of that pink box. Now, you'll notice that the tooltip is gone, but I can actually still teleport around the place. Now, my apologies, I accidentally hit the menu button. So going through, you'll notice a couple of things straight off the mark. The very first one is in regards to all the pink different spots all the way. They'll be in random spots, such as the table and legs. It just means that the texture hasn't actually come across properly. The second thing you'll notice is I have a little bit of a twitch, so you'll see it occasionally jump, but that's just my head twitching. Just not everybody has that, just me. But outside that, you'll see a couple of things that I can point out, and using the controller with that middle mouse button, or that middle big touchpad, I can actually teleport around, but I can still walk and look around, and you'll see this blue grid come up. That means that's my walking area where I can or can't walk. And it's pretty decent. You can actually see everything that you need to do just by walking around, and when you hit that blue wall, it's just that's where my space in the room that I'm walking around with ends. So I'm not going to keep walking past that because I walked into a steel wall. So from here, what we actually have is I'm just going to teleport around the house a little bit. And again, awesome TV and a little bit of a flower, but the pink box is obviously just an issue. Now this was done in probably the space of an hour, trying to get all the materials and everything and the textures to work correctly. That's probably the only biggest issue. The only other issue is you'll notice that there's a bit of an overlap. Again, if I had a bit of time with your model, I can easily get a proper fix for that. That's just a matter of moving things around so they don't overlap. It's just that they're exactly in the same spot. My computer doesn't know which one to display. Let's head round to the kitchen of this Revit model. And again, I've done this a bit, so I'm a bit used to the actual jumping. And you can actually see that I'm a little bit smaller than most people, but that's all right. So going from here, you'll see a number of bar stools and everything else. I can see through the glass, and I can get a bit closer, and you'll see the bit of dirt that's out there and the walkway up the top. Unfortunately, upstairs is off limits for this little demo. And again, fridges and cupboards and things like that, I haven't worried about the textures for. Let's jump back into the kitchen, and what we'll actually see is a couple of bits and pieces. You'll be able to see all the different parts up along there, and your fume hood or fume cupboard, whatever. As well as a couple of other things like your hot plates. Again, that pink, I apologise, I'm just being low, but maybe I want to have a look in the sink, so I'm going to have a look in that sink. Alright, cool, and I can even see the texture of that sink pattern as well. The tap was meant to be chrome, but white's good enough. So from here, you can actually see a couple of different bits and pieces as well. Unfortunately, my lights are a bit of pink ones today. But you'll actually see a couple of things. So the very first thing is like the glass and the water that's inside there. And if I come in and have a real close look, let's get away from that blue wall. So let's bring it a little bit closer. You can actually start to see that texture as well on that table. So you can actually get, if you have the right materials, you can actually go through, and you can see the pattern of the carpet as well. So from there, we can actually go a little bit further, and I might jump outside. I can see the dirt there as well. It's a little bit shiny in that part, but again, that's just those little rush jobs that I do to try and get this done with. And now I've got my solar panels out there of the model, and if I just take one note, I can actually stand up and look up at my model. Now I do have a couple of bugs, as I've explained, but a little bit more than an hour can clean that up quite easily. But I can easily go through and I can see that whole model, and that's quite impressive, as my hands are still moving around as well. I can keep on jumping down, so let's jump down to the grass. And what you'll see is you'll see the pillars underneath there, and you do get this big behemoth of a scale. Now I can turn around and look around, and I can still keep walking around my space without too much issue either. My grass ain't that pretty, but at least it has some shadows. From here, I can keep on going. Now let's go all the way back to the edge of the little cliff there, and I still see that size. Now, those slants in the hill are actually from the Revit model as well. Let's jump back further as well, and you'll actually see all these little jumping patterns, all these hills are part of that model. So going through even further, if I was to go back all the way over here, I do get that size exposure to it. I can easily jump back to where I was. Hopefully I can get up there. And now I'm outside and I'm looking out at the amazing view that this little place has to offer. So from here I can jump back inside. There's no need to use the doors with teleporters. And now I'm back to where I started. This is basically what I meant by it. And you can even do little things such as even getting underneath and having a look and realising that there is no real gap there, as long as you don't accidentally teleport yourself. But outside that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Other than that, enjoy.